What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Trey Sense, and it is time for our weekly fragrance review. This is the fragrance that I've worn over the last week. So if you want to know what they are, meet me on the other side of this intro and we're going to get right into it. Hey, I will see you guys in just 1 second. Sit right there. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Trey Sense, and listen, I would love to thank you, for returning to the scene of the crime. So what we got for you today, as you know by the intro, it is time to do the weekly fragrance and review. So what we're going to talk about this week is the fragrances that I've worn over the last week, starting, which we're a little bit late, starting with March the 26th, going through the very first day of April. So no further ado, let's get right into it. What fragrance did I wear the 26th of March? Can't believe it is already April. A goodie, a cheapie, a freshie. It was hot that day and I just wanted to wear something fresh and refreshing, and it is Z from Zigna. This is a nice fresh fragrance, man. It smells really good. It's one of those that when it gets in the air, people really like it. It's we'll call it a citrus, aromatic, woody type of fragrance. It's a little bit more than a daily driver, a little bit more than just a easy reach type of scent. That's what it is, but it brings a little bit more depth and a little bit more body to it. I love the combination of citrus and woods in this one. It's fresh. It's really fresh, but at the same time, it offers a little bit of depth. This is about the second or third bottle of this I had. The first bottle of this I wore to a Mexican restaurant. I had it in the car with me, and the waiter was like, "Hey, you smell good. What is that you got on?" And I told him. He's like, "That smells really good." I said, "Man, I got it in the car." I said, "I'll sell it if you want it." And he did. So I think I sold it for $25 and then bought another bottle for like $14. Before COVID, this was in all the clearance bins, but I like it. I think it's one that people have forgotten about because there's so many fragrances. This is one I think that we have all forgotten about, but this is a nice, fresh, easy to wear, white party, white button down type of scent from the house of Zigna. It is Z. I like this one. I like it a lot. Zigna's an overlooked house. We forget about it for some reason. I don't know why we do that. I guess once the bigger guys, the so-called experts, move on from fragrances, the rest of us just forget about them. Well, y'all do. I don't. But nonetheless, moving along. That's what I wore Sunday, the 26th. Now, moving along to Monday, the 27th. I was just in that zone and that vibe, so I went with something old school. From the house of Calvin Klein, and it is Obsession Cologne. Well, this was Dougie Fresh's, one of Dougie Fresh's favorites, wasn't it? And the song, Ain't No Half Stepping. I'm telling my age, cause we're the Get Fresh crew. Anyway, this fragrance right here, a little bit, you get a little bit of a clove, a little bit of a oak moss type of vibe to it. Cinnamony, sweet, spicy. I like it. I do. Listen, if you complain about everything being sweet, syrupy, not performing, weak, watered down, go get you a bottle of this. Spray it on. I sprayed this on at 6 o'clock, went into work, worked my 5 hours, got off at 11 o'clock, came home, chilled, and could still smell it. Could still do this and smell it. And I'm talking about into the wee hours of the morning. That was 6. I'll say I got at least 10 hours, 11 hours of longevity out of this. Maybe some soft, subtle projection, half of that. But if I could do like this and smell it, then I'm going to be willing to say that if I moved, people would be able to pick it up. But I was just in that mood for something dark, something different, something in my collection that I haven't worn in a while, and this hit the spot for me. I like it. It just smells good. Again, sweet, cinnamony, spicy, earthy goodness right here from the house of Calvin Klein. It is Obsession. I like that. And again, monster performance on my skin. Monster performance. And that's what I wore Monday, which would be the 27th. Now, Tuesday, 28th, which we're getting to the middle of the week for me, and I'm trying to figure out what the weather was that day, but I went with something from the house of Dapper, and it is their version of At the Barbershop by Mason Margiela. Got a little ball of it, and you see the levels on this, and as soon as I walked in and hit the time clock, Tay, as I call him, Taylor's like, Trey, and I said, yeah. He said, what are you wearing? That smells good. And I keep little bottles like this in my pocket. So when people ask me what I'm wearing, I can pull it out and show them, because a lot of time a visual is better. So I pulled it out and I showed him, I'm wearing this from Dapper Fragrances. He stopped and he goes, that does smell Dapper. There you have it. Got 3 or 4 compliments on this one. This is their version of By the Fireplace, and at the barbershop, and it's just what you would think it is. It smells like a barbershop fougere type of scent, but of course it lasted all day. Great oil concentration in this, and you don't need big bottles of fragrances, especially when they perform the way these do. 2-3 squirts and you're good all day. So by the time I get back around to wearing this, it'll probably be 2024. So yeah, but I like it. I like it a lot. Dapper's version of Mason Margiela's By the Fireplace. That is what I wore Tuesday, and I'm gonna try to sit that on the shelf without knocking a bunch of stuff down. And that brings us to Wednesday, the 29th. Hold on here. Yes, that brings us to Wednesday the 29th. I made a mistake here, but we're just going to roll on anyway. Yeah, Wednesday the 29th, I wore something from the house of Abercrombie and Fitch, and it is First Instinct Extreme. And I really like this fragrance. I mean, yes, it's a scent profile that has been done. Yes, it smells like Paco Rabanne's Invictus, but nonetheless, I think this is a very sweet, playful fragrance, the complete opposite end of the spectrum from Obsession and from By the Fireplace, but nonetheless, I like it. I do. I like it. I work in the public. I work around a bunch of teens, so I mean, I have to be versatile with my fragrance, because let's be honest, you can honestly wear what you want to wear. Period, point blank. If you want to spray on WD-40 and motor oil, you can. But I don't remember receiving any compliments on this fragrance, but I do like the way that it smelled. It lasted throughout my shift. It didn't, it wasn't one of those that went all night, but it did last the 5 hours that I worked, and that's about all you can ask for. From the house of Abercrombie, it is First Instinct. Which one is this? Extreme. Nope, can't reach it. I have to put it up later. Now, that brings us to Thursday, which would be the 30th. And I sprayed on a fragrance that morning as I was just chilling, relaxing around the house. And this from the house of Jacques Bogart. And this is One Man Show, the Gold Edition. I sprayed this fragrance on probably about 11 a.m. About 11 a.m. Wore it, hit myself right here. It seems like it was cool that day. I can't remember, but I don't know what made me want to wear this one, but it seems like I had on a long sleeve shirt, which is what makes me think it was cool. But nonetheless, I sprayed this fragrance on, okay? And this is one you have to be careful with. I'm gonna spray a little bit in the air. And this is a toilette concentration. Whew. Sweet, but not syrupy sweet. Unique, fruity, warm, and inviting. Cold weather monster. Do not wear this to the office. Do not wear this in a closed setting. You're gonna want to be outside with this one. Beastly performance with this one, and it is an inexpensive fragrance. You can pick up the One Man Show line starting at about $15 to $20. I sprayed this on at 11 a.m. and when I got off work at 11 p.m. I could still distinctly smell this over the fragrance that I wore to work that night. And then on into the hours. I'm not exaggerating when I say at least 15 hours I could smell this on my skin. At least, and this is of a fragrance that is $15 to $20. And my thing is, if they could make this fragrance last like this, why can't we make all of our fragrances last this long? And just like that one little spray, it fills the air. I promise 1 to 2 sprays of this is all you're going to be able to handle, and that's all you need. One Man Show from Bogart, and that is a great smelling fragrance. I don't think I received any compliments. I don't think. Now, where I made my mistake was the fragrance that I wore to work that night, I do not have with me. I left it in my car. It seems like I had to make a sharp turn, so it's over in the passenger seat between the seat and the door. I remember it falling, but I never got it. Nobody ever gets in my car with me, so it's over there. But the fragrance that I wore to work Thursday night, the 30th, was Nautica Blue Sail. Nautica Blue Sail. And I used to like that fragrance. And I still like the smell of it, but the performance on it was just horrible. I mean, it was horrible. There's no other way to put it. Maybe my bottle has gone bad. Maybe the batch has gone bad, or maybe it's just a weak performing fragrance. I can't complain because I paid $14 or $15 for 100 ml of it, but it just did not perform, especially after having that on. And when I tell you, after a few hours, I could smell the Bogart over the Nautica that I had sprayed on that morning. I did make myself a decant and took it with me to work so I could just refresh myself, because I knew it wasn't gonna last long. But no. I should have just went with my initial instinct and just wore the Bogart to work, but I didn't. But just wanted to wear something different. I did. Nautica Blue Sail, and no bueno on that one. Friday. It brings us to Friday, which is the 31st. Friday, I had to go pick up something. Again, was rolling solo. It was a nice day to start. Then some weather moved in, but the first part of the day was nice. It wasn't sunny or anything, but I just wanted to wear something bright. I don't know why. Just wanted to wear this fragrance. I guess because I haven't worn it in a while. So something from the house of Mont Blanc. It is Legend Spirit. And this one is what? It's got that Invictus-y vibe too, with a little bit of citrus, a little bit more fruity. I would spray it. Well, I could spray this one on my skin. Make sure my scent of the day. Oh, it just hit a little spray right there. This is a compliment getter. This is just one of those fragrances. I promise you that Bogart is like taking over. I feel like if I struck a match right now, the air would catch on fire. That's how potent and strong that stuff is. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but this is one I like. This is a compliment getter. Every time I wear this fragrance, I get compliments, and it's always, you smell really, really nice. My problem with this one is it's not a monster performer. It's not really, on my skin, it doesn't perform well at all. Maybe 3 to 4 hours, but for that 3 to 4 hours, you're gonna smell really, really good. And again, it reminds me of something from the line of Invictus as well. I'm not sure which Invictus, but it reminds me of one of them. But from the house of Mont Blanc, it is Legend Spirit. Good fragrance, just wish it performed better. And that was Friday as I went to town to run some errands. Actually, I ordered a pair of shoes that I had shipped to Academy, and I had to go pick them up. So that's what I did Friday day. And I made a beeline back home because our weather was supposed to be horrible Friday night, and it was. Tornadoes hit in Arkansas, and then tornadoes hit. You hear me talk about going to Tennessee all the time. Well, county I go to in Tennessee, I go through McNairy County, and McNairy County got hit pretty hard. I think there was like 10 or 11 fatalities. I go through McNairy County to get to Madison County. Parts of Madison County was hit, but McNairy County was hit pretty hard, like 10 casualties. So yo, this time of the year, you're gonna hear it a lot. Just keep Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, the whole South, Texas, Oklahoma in your prayers, because bro, we catch it this time of the year. But I had a little nightcap as the weather missed us, so I got out and did a little something. What I wore that night, and I wish I could see, this is Dua Mobster versus I can't make that out. I didn't even look, I just grabbed it. And I got this from my boy Lamar Gaston, and I can't, the writing on it is so small. I can make out Mobster versus, I didn't even look, I just saw Dua and grabbed it. So this is my second time looking at it. And this, it's a good smelling fragrance. Very Middle Eastern. The opening, I like. The dries down into something very familiar. As I wore it, I was thinking, I don't know if I want to bottle this or not. At first I was thinking, no, it smells really, really good, but it's just a typical Middle Eastern type fragrance. And then it turned really, really powdery on my skin. So I was just like, I don't know. What is that? It sucks to have glasses and still struggle to see. I don't know, we'll just call it Mobster. How about that? We'll just call it Dua Mobster. And from that, I'm sure you'll be able to look it up. I do apologize for not being able to make out what it says, but it is what it is. Nice, powdery, smooth, strong, masculine, crowd pleasing. I did get several compliments on this little fragrance right here. And again, shout out to the homeboy Lamar Gaston. Next time you send me something, bro, I'm gonna need you to write bigger though. You write like a female, pretty handwriting stuff. I write like a chicken. Why your handwriting look like that? Mine don't look like that. But anyway, that was Friday night. And that brings us to the first day of the month of April, which would be April Fool's Day. And I did get out again, had some returns, went the other direction, went east towards Decatur. And I just wanted something, because when it storms, the day after is beautiful. And it was just a beautiful day. And I wanted something that I haven't wore in a while, but that I thought fit the type of day that it was, which was bright, pretty, sunny. So I went with something that was semi-sexy, but not too sexy, and then a little chill at the same time. The One Gray from Dolce & Gabbana. And this is one that you don't hear a lot of talk about, and when you do, it's not good. Personally, I like this fragrance. I think Dolce did a really, really good job on this one. I don't know why this fragrance doesn't get more love than what it does. And here's why I say that, because you definitely pick up on the DNA of the One and the One EDP. You definitely pick up on that DNA. And aside from maybe the Givenchy Gentleman line, and aside from the YSL Y line and Valentino, the Valentino pineapple bottle or porcupine or whatever you want to call it. The one, what is that? What would that be? The Valentino. You know what I'm talking about? Valentino Aqua, Valentino Intense. Besides from those, I think the one is one of the better, more solid flanker lines in fragrances. It doesn't get the love, which I think Invictus is a solid line as well, but Invictus gets plenty of love. It gets too much love, so does 1 Million. But the one, I think everybody automatically jumps to the Parfum. I personally get about 6 to 7 hours of performance out of the EDT, especially if I spray my clothes. If I spray my clothes with the one EDT, I could pick that shirt up 2 or 3 days later and smell it. So, you know, nonetheless, but I went with this one because, again, it was a bright, sunny, pretty day, and you have the same DNA, a little bit more citrus, a little bit fresher up top, but still you get that same sexy date night vibe from that you get from the one and the one Parfum. You get the same thing from Gray. I think this one has a little bit more cleanliness to it, and it's a little bit fresher, which makes it a little bit more office and daytime appropriate. But when it starts to dry down and settle, that's when that DNA from the one and the one Parfum comes in, or EDP rather, comes in, and they start to tie together, and that's when this one gets sexy. So it's business in the morning, and when it dries down on you in the evening, it turns to pleasure. But nonetheless, I like it. I like it a lot. I wish I had a bigger bottle of this. This is one you can be liberal with on the sprays. You need to spray heavy with this one, but again, it smells good. It definitely received some compliments. I got a couple of, ooh, you smell really good. But it's a nice, clean, I mean, it smells good there. It just smells good. If you haven't picked this one up and you run across it somewhere like Macari or somebody selling it in a group, you may want to give it a try. I think you may have yourself a nice little office scent or a nice little church scent, or just a close encounter spring and summer style date night fragrance that's not too overpowering. Give it a try. I like it. All right, guys, that is it. That is one more week down. Sorry for this video being late, but I did pick up some new additions and wanted to bring them to you. So that always pushes this video back, but nonetheless, it's Tuesday and you're getting it. How about that? So, and we've started another week. So that being said, guys, again, please keep my boy JP and his family in your prayers. If you're sending them up, please send up one for him and his family. Also, the people in Tennessee and Arkansas, please send them up for you, boy. I'd appreciate it. With that being said, guys, I'm going to get off of here, thumbnail it, upload it so you can see it. And you'll know I greatly appreciate your return to the scene of the crime. I love you all, and may God bless you all. Until next time, guys, peace. Oh, if you stuck around to the end, let me know what you wore. Always on this video, let me know what you wore. Let me know what your rotation was. All right. Till next time, guys. Peace.